Hi, welcome to my channel, Melina Realty, and let's dive in. Today, we are talking if you're a realtor, if you're thinking of becoming a realtor, this is a video must watch. We're going to be talking about social media, what you can and cannot share. So let's dive in. Social media for realtors and Illinois Association of Realtors and rules and what we can do and not we can do and can do. So at this point, I'm just gonna pull some things that I found in Illinois Association, Chicago Association, and we can cover a lot of information in very short time. So when we advertising, this is a checklist. What we have to be advertising. So basically, we have to have a name of the licensee, and then a full real estate license. Managing broker. If I'm a managing broker, I have to advertise that I'm a managing broker, so I can just say broker. Brokerage name, we have to mention the brokerage name we belong, not solely company logo abbreviation, and it is larger than the agent's team's name. So it has to be always larger than the name. You can't just put your huge name and then it's your small Century 21. So it has to be larger. We have to have authority to advertise, and we're going to cover this part a little bit more in details, but right now I'm just going to mention it. Does the license have written authorization to owner from the owner to advertise the property? The advertisement has to be honest and truthful. So does the advertisement avoid any misleading statements or exaggeration or facts? Teams, if you're a team, part of the team has to mention that you're part of the team. If there's any referral fees, does the advertisement avoid offering anything of value and licensed person solely to for the referral of prospective client or customers? So that's something you have to always check. Property owned. If the advertisement is by owner, ad for sale, purchase or lease or listed property license owns, you have to say that you owner or any partial owner. So you have to always say that. Yeah, that is the disclosure you have to make. Inducements. If the advertising include an offer for goods or service that are free, uh, the terms governing this offer included, it is premium price or discount offer in the language is disclosing all terms and conditions. So you can't just entice people saying, oh yeah, we're going to give you $500, or anything you're offering has to have full terms and conditions. Sold properties, if the advertising sold properties, did the licensee participate in the sale of the property as the listing broker or cooperating broker? So it has to be either way, have to be included in the sale. You can't just advertise someone else's. If you was advertising, like let's say Century 21 properties in our office, you still have to disclose somehow that you're not the one who sold it. So it will be, you have to give a credit even in the small letters in the corner to the agent. And designations, if you have any designations, so it could be like ABR or CDPE, whatever designations, you have to advertise the ones you only have, and if you paid up in full with those designations, if you update all the fees. So that's something I wanted to bring out. The other thing is, if you're looking for authorization or permission to advertise, I created a little form, and I want you to see this form, social media authorization form. This is just a sample. You can create your own, but I just want to show you a sample. So if you are looking to advertise, you're going to a showing and you want to make a video or pictures of some listing that you're showing, and you are the agent or the owner is giving you authorization. It could be either one to you. If they are allowing you to advertise, they have to sign. And this is something you might want to send them in email. Authorization, I is legal owner, so that's whoever is the legal owner, or authorization that has their owner gave them. If there's a listing agent authorized, so it would be Maldina Dervisevich to take photos, videos, other media contacts, and I can post. And then you want to put down where you're going to be posting. So this you cover yourself for marketing purposes. So if you're going to be posting Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, whatever social media, this is just example. You need to make this form, and you need to have them sign it. Okay, and once they sign it, if they yes interior photos, yeah, or no interior photos, so whatever they allow you, if they allow you, yeah, you say yes, check it, and have them sign it. Now, if let's say your client Actually the rules are if your client wants to take some pictures of the property, a lot of times the clients say, oh, can I just take some videos? Well, by rule, they supposed to get a signature as well from the owner, preferably from the owner and the or listing agent, but preferably from the owner. So that's why sometimes, I would not encourage them taking these pictures unless they put in writing from the or if you know they're gonna be taking these pictures, you might want to send this email to the agents, have them sign it, or have them give you written authorization for those pictures to be taken. So you can take them and maybe send them to your buyer. Okay. Um, then I wanted to share this with you that I pulled out from Chicago Association of Realtors. And this is something I want to cover, not related to the pictures. It is permission denied, how to avoid unauthorized access violations. It came to my attention. There's a lot of violation. This I'm just gonna briefly go through this. There's a lot of violations out there from agents going into the property in different times that they make appointment. And I think I already kind of talked about this before, but I want to bring it out again. Accessing a home outside of confirming showing time, even with the confirming showing time, realtor can violate the code of ethics. If they show the property early, late, or even on the wrong day, and if you only have permission on the property to be there from 4 to 5 in certain day, accessing it anytime outside the confirming time without additional approval would be a violation. So if you're going to be there 5:05 and your appointment is 4 to 5, oh, hi, Sam. I didn't know you're there. Okay, hi. And if your appointment is 4 to 5, you want to make sure you are in that appointment 4 to 5. If you go there 5:01, I would be calling the agent and trying to get authorization to have him authorize you, or like through the showing assist, which is the best way because it's in writing. Of course, we're talking about in writing. Have them authorize you back that you can go back in at 5:01. Because if you get a reported and you did something that you showed a property out of the frame, that is they can report you and you breaking a code of ethics and can be fined $2,500 for every single violation. So if you're going to 5 showings that day and you're running late and you're showing 5 showings, you could be spending $15,000 on these violations if you're running late and you're not reporting it to the other agent and changing those appointments. So that's why I really want to emphasize how important this is. We are really busy people. We need to organize our time and we need to be very good about it. But I just want to show you how these violations are. Code of Ethics citation violation. And this is an open book. You can go and every 30 days they showing all these violations. And then there's a lot of violations out there. So you might want to spend some time and read these violations and see what people are doing to break these rules and what you don't want to do. You see, there's a violation failure to disclose existence of the contract to cooperating broker. So providing access to a listed property on terms other than those established by owner or the seller. Okay, so I have a listing at 4714 Connecticut, and I have instruction from my seller that each agent going into this property has to sign a hold harmless form that prior to entering the property. So I have to send these forms to every single showing. And once I receive a form that is signed by my clients and my day client and the realtor, then I can authorize this showing. If I fail to one showing, I'm going to be fined $2,500. So how important is to follow directions of your clients and then follow directions of the realtors, because that's listing realtors, because that's what they doing. They following directions of their clients. So to avoid all these fines and to avoid violating code of ethics, we got to make sure we follow all these citations, all these rules, and then we can have an easy and nice and happy day, right? All right, so that's something I wanted to bring out because that's super important, and I was guilty of sometimes being late, but guess what? I call. I call the agent and I say, can you text him and can you put in writing, please, can I come in into this property? And they'll text me back, say, yes, you can go in, or they will reconfirm. And the best part is showing assist. We click on showing assist, we reschedule it, and we change the time, and we go in, and we are good to go. Because sometimes sellers, they not notify, and they're very upset if you come in and they're not notified you're going to come in at that time, right? All right, so
Quick questions. So every
sure.
time you do a showing, you have to submit a form, or just one form and cover all the showing for that particular client?
Every showing is a different direction. So when we go
Oh,
to listing appointment, when we're showing a property, every showing has a different direction. So we're gonna have to follow each direction properly, how it's being showed. So like let's say I'm showing a property in Morton Grove and a single family home, and owner says, well, take your shoes off, you need to come in only between 4 and 4:15. We need to turn all of the lights, make sure that there's no noise, don't open one door, like, there's different directions. I have to follow these directions, and I'm responsible for the house. So if my buyer goes and opens that door that they told not to open, I can get violation of the code ethics because I did not follow direction.
uh,
So
mhm.
every property has different, yeah. So if you remember, Sam, we went to show your property that you purchased, and the client was there. So my direction was you need to come at that time because that's when he's off, and then he's gonna open a door. So, and that was I did what I was told. But if I went there like an hour later and he was like doing something else, and he could report me because I came an hour later, right?
Okay. Yes. What I try to ask is, let's say you have one client, but it's two showing, 2 days, separate day showing. Can the client have each day have separate instruction? Then you need two form?
Yes. Every
Okay.
single
Got it.
time making a showing, every single time you need to click and schedule appointment and follow directions at that time. Yes, but it could be that every single time is the same, so we don't know. We don't know what the clients is gonna say. Every time I have a property where someone lives in a property, and I have to call my client every single time, and every single time he tells me, different direction. Like I'm home, I'm not home. There's a lockbox. My kid's sleeping in a bedroom. That bedroom, please don't open. I mean, it's just and then I have to give these directions to the agent that is showing for me. So it is a lot of liability for us to follow those directions. But if we just do everything it was told, we are good in very good shape. Now we're gonna go back to share or not to share online licensing law. Understand that license law and code of ethics still apply online. All right. I cannot emphasize enough how this is important. Whatever we're doing online, it's being seen. It doesn't matter how many people follows you. It could be nobody's following you. It could be thousands and thousands of people are following you. So whatever we're doing online stays online. Even if you take it down, someone else might have downloaded, shared it. So we got to follow those rules even more diligently and more carefully, and follow the guidelines, advertising guidelines. So what are the advertising guidelines? As I said before, advertising guidelines are if you have a pictures and videos, make sure you took those pictures and videos to post them, and make sure you received authorization from the owner of that property to all authorization of the person. If you're sending a picture, if you have a client who is buying a house, and then you posting this without him knowing that his picture, he might be upset. So you want to make sure it's to give it, he gives you authorization. So to post these pictures and post those videos, and then you'll be safe. But definitely, remember the code of the ethics. You need to identify yourself. You need to say you're a realtor, and you need to say like what office are you working for. And that's pretty much what, and as a realtor, you have a higher standards than the license law, right? Secondly, I'm pulling this from the Chicago Association. The most important is identifying yourself. Don't make any misleading statements. So misleading statements like you say, I'm the best realtor in Chicago, I'm number one. You can't say that. Don't say things you're not. I am very good agent, but you can say I'm number one. So that's also misleading. And the number three is always ask for permission. And I already showed the permission form. You can create your own permission form that is a standard for you. But it's just something, or you can just send the email with the wording and have them respond back to you saying, yeah, you have authorization. Most of these agents are you happy to use to share these listings and these pictures. They're gonna just say, no, of course, you can share. I love that. Sell it for me, and most of them they will say that, but some agents will say no because they just want them for themselves. And maybe the client doesn't allow that sharing. So I have a client, I just sold a house in Palatine, and house just super gorgeous, completely remodeled, and my client was telling me, make sure you don't share any of my pictures, make sure you don't post any of this, and I don't want any information about my closing anywhere. So I had to follow the rule. I had to, like, I wanted to I took a picture with them, but I never posted it. So I have to respect their privacy, and some people are happy to share their happiness, some people do want to keep it private, and I respect whatever they decide, right? And that's what we have to do. All right, forget about client confidentiality. So that's what I just talked about that actually. Respect copyright law. So if you didn't take the photo, you need written permission to use it. And written is the key. Okay, even if you're posting on social media, you need to credit creators. Copyrights law always apply. So I said, being a part of Century 21 is it's the best decision I made in my life, because Century 21 gives me so much support and trainings, and makes me, go to higher standards, and same time allows me to use the videos and pictures that I don't have to worry about copyrights. I have and Jackie, you know that we go into the brain studio and we have unlimited, uh, pages and pages of the pictures and videos we can use, and we can be very professional on the social media. So we don't have to worry about copyright when you use that. But if you're going out of that, every single time you're taking that picture, if you are putting it on the, you want to put a little bit of the trademark and saying, well, that belongs to that and that person or that and that company, because we don't want to be stealing from other people. And manipulating logos or trademarks. Trademark a realtor, you're a realtor, you can definitely say you're a realtor, but and you can use your logo Century 21, but we can't use any other, logos that we don't really belong to, especially if you are accredited realtor, like I said, if you are, let's say, certified commercial realtor, certified buyer's broker, listing broker. We need to be really certified to advertise that. We can't just advertise we are certified buyer's broker, but we never went to school for that. So, and also we need to pay the fees that are associated with it, if there's any. Some of these certifications don't require any fees that are on a yearly basis. In order us to continue to advertise as we need to follow those directions. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back here. Okay, so I'm covering a lot. I don't know if you guys following me, but this is the last piece of information. Am I boring you? Um, because I'm coming up with, I'm educating on a lot of stuff. There's a new law on a tenant um disclosure that just came out in February 2nd, 2025. So I'm talking about something just came out 3 days ago. And I'm trying to be up to date with everything, but this is something, if you are doing ever like rentals in Chicago or rentals in Illinois, any owner who had a house that had any flooding issues, they are required to disclose. And this gives you like disclosure of potential flooding from FEMA, or any flooding that has occurred in past 10 years. We have to disclose to the tenant. If the tenant moves into the house or the property and he has a flooding issue that we did not disclose, that was actually prior to this happening, and we did not disclose, within 15 days, we have to return him all the money he inquire that he paid for the rent, even if he lived there for a year, we have to give it to him. And then he has to, and then he can pay his, all his fees, because we made a mistake without disclosing. So we want to make sure we educating our clients that if there is any issues like this, we want to disclose to the tenant and have them move in. Otherwise, they can have a big financial problem with this tenant. And then other thing is what I love that just came out, and I do substantially amount of rentals in the summertime because I sold to a lot of investors, and these investors are using me to do rentals for them, and I pull credits and I do whole background check and I do everything they're supposed to do and they want me to do. But now these tenants get rejected and then they wasted 50 or $100 for the application, right? So what's happened now, they start complaining, and the new requirement came out that we can actually accept other people's credit reports. So if they went out and got rejected, and then they can use this credit report to apply it on you, and without us making sure that we don't have to pull their credit, which is great. I love that. And this is but the only requirement is that the credit report cannot be older than 30 days. And also we can add other reports like eviction check, or we can check the employment. If the owner of the property wants us to check any additional requirements about the tenant, we are allowed to do that, except the credit report that he's bringing in from the other application that he was rejected from. So that's a new, it's called reusable tenant credit report. And I love that because I really feel for these tenants that are going around and there's multiple applications. That doesn't mean they're bad tenants. They're just not as good as the other tenants. It could be they had 750 score, their tenants have 800 score, but still both are very good. And now he has to go back again and then maybe get another credit report done and pay another $100. So this gives us, if you're representing our tenant, it gives us like a power of using credit report and applying multiple places and not having them spend all that money. So I cheers to this new reusable tenant credit reports act that came out, and I think that concludes
I have
most.
a couple questions.
Yes.
Sorry. First one, when they pull the credit, when they apply for rental, they pull the credit. Is a soft pull or it's a hard pull?
Depends on the agency we're pulling it from. Most of the time it is a soft pull, but
Okay.
sometimes it's a hard pull. So, I pull the soft pull, but we still get to see like all whatever if they're paying, we also do background check, we do eviction check. So we do our like a report is very conclusive. So the thing
Uh-huh.
is, before we were not allowed to share that to the other tenant. We were not allowed to share it with them. We pulled it, we had to keep it.
Yes.
Now, with this new act, we can actually provide that to the tenant, and they can go ahead and reapply. Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
So does that mean
I
you
taped
know
it just so you know.
uh,
Oh, okay.
so does that mean when the applicants submit the application, they do a credit bureau check? I'm assuming all three of them or one of them, and then they reject the application. Uh,
Hello.
they are able to get the
But this is
credit bureau report.
Yes. Yes. So now, before I was not allowed to share that with them, but now the new requirement accepting reusable tenant screen reports, obviously I'm allowed to share because that's a new, requirement now. So
Okay.
so the good thing will be, if I represent the tenant and then he went to XYZ Realty and he applied and XYZ Realty rejected him,
Mhm.
we can ask XYZ Realty, can you please forward this report to my client and then or to me? And I'm not really sure clear about that if I'm allowed to get it, but definitely my client. And then we can reapply at the other company. And then we can, see if they will accept it. So this way he doesn't have to pay additional 100. Some of these applications run from 75 to $100. And
Okay.
yeah.
So what do you mean that they might? So that means that they have a right not to accept the credit bureau report? that just post within the 30
no, they
days?
might accept the tenants because they have
Oh, okay. They have to
they
take
have to
that credit
check
bureau.
his
Okay.
report. So it could be
Okay.
that his report is amazing, but it could be it is not.
Okay.
So it's up to the landlord and his requirement. I mean, yeah, his requirements, what he's requiring from these tenants. So
Okay.
all the landlords, I just listed a property of 5950 Canmore, and my landlord requirement 680, 3 times income, and you know, and no evictions. So when I pull the credit, I have to have the same requirements for every single applicant. I cannot say one applicant 720, one, you know, it's 680 is the minimum score for me to have applicant accepted. And that's what my client is requiring. So some of the landlords say to me 720 is minimum. So it depends of the landlord. Yeah. So I don't know. I hope I answered your question. But yeah, I think I had like 7 minutes left. So if you guys have any other questions, but we did cover advertising laws and a lot of new things that came up of, you know, the laws that we need to know. But most importantly, you know, we just want to know that we want to cover ourselves when we're posting on social media, we're posting pictures. If we have a, I'm gonna stop the recording just because I think we now finished our main training. Let me see if I can do.
Why are you looking? Can I ask a question about the floods? Let's say that you have a client that just sold the house, but your client did not disclose that they have a flood within the 10 years.